back, Mishpakai. Welcome back, fam. Welcome back, Akeem and Akatim, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties, and uncles, grandmas, and grandpas. Welcome back, Kingdom Builders. Welcome back, Road Trippers. Welcome back, everybody in the house. That's right. In-laws, all that good stuff, man. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to you, your homes, your dwelling places, where you stay at, man. Peace and blessings to your children, your loved ones, your friends, and your pets, man. Little fur babies, all that good stuff that you need in your life, Mishpakai. That stuff that you need in your life, fam. It keeps you happy, keeps you grounded, man. Head to the sky, head up and feet down, grounded. You know what I'm saying? Like a tree planted by the waters. You will not be moved, fam. No way, no way. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High, Abana Yahweh. Glory to Yahweh Shai. Honors to the Ruach HaKodesh. Hallelujah, man. And my love and my respect goes out to each and every single one of you out there, Kingdom Builders. That's right, man. You know I love you. Love you dearly. That's right. So, what are we doing? Where are we at? Well, right now, it looks like we're in the book of Jubilees. All right, pseudepigrapha. Book of Jubilees, chapter 5. It's going to be chapter 5, I guess. You got a few moments if you want to go ahead and get your scrolls out, follow along with me. That'd be great. It doesn't matter if you got a hard copy. It doesn't matter if you got, digital, if you're reading online with me. Or if you just want to sit back and just, and just sit back and listen. That's fine with me, too. It's your choice. So we're going to go ahead and get prepared here. I'm going to give you a few moments, just kind of get warmed up. And I look forward to reading for you. Tonight. This is one of my favorite hobbies. This is my kind of therapy. I read Bible. All right. So no further ado. That's enough. All right. That's enough time wasted. Let's go ahead and begin. All right. Jubilees, chapter 5 until ? All right. Let's go, fam. Let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. Hey, fellas in the back, sit down. Please stop making all that noise. We got to start. Let's go, y'all. All right. Okay, hallelujah. Chapter 5. All right, go. And it reads, "And it came to pass, when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the angels," right, the sons of the Most High Yahweh, saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon, and they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way, alike men and cattle and beasts and birds and everything that walks on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men was evil continually. And Yahweh looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said that he would destroy man and all flesh upon the face of the earth, which he had created. But Noah found grace before the eyes of the Most High. And against the angels whom he had sent upon the earth, he was exceedingly angry. And he gave commandment to root them out of all their dominion. And he bade us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And behold, they were bound in the midst of them, and are kept separate. And against their sons went out a command from before his face, that they should be smitten with the sword and be removed from under heaven. And he said, My Ruach will not always abide on man, for they also are flesh, and their days will be 120 years. And he sent his sword into the midst, that each should slay his neighbor. And they began to slay each other, until they all fell by the sword and were destroyed from off the earth. All right, I'm going to interject. So you see how men used to have these extravagantly long lives, 800, 700, 900, 400, 365 years, right? And the Most High saw what was wrong with that, right? it's not wrong for man to live so many years, but what happens in so many years is men has more and more chances to get wicked. And imagine someone living wickedly for 700 years. Oh man, their sins are going to stack all the way up to heaven. That makes the Most High Yahweh sick to his stomach. He'd rather just say, hey man, 120 years. Even if you get as wicked as you can get in 120 years, that's better than you getting as wicked as you can get in 950 years. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, he had to put a limit, had to put a cap on that life. You can only learn so much in 120 years. And he can stomach that. All right. Verse 10, let's continue. All right, you ready to get some more? Verse 10, and it reads, And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. And after this, they were bound in the depths of the earth forever until the day of the great condemnation, when judgment is executed on all those who have corrupted their ways and their works before the Most High. And he destroyed all from their places, and there was not left one of them whom he judged not according to all their wickedness. And he made for all his works a new and righteous nature, so that they should not sin in their whole nature forever, but should be all righteous, each in his kind always. And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets in righteousness, even the judgment of all who depart from the path which is ordained for them to walk in. And if they walk not therein, judgment is written down for every creature and for every kind. And there is nothing in heaven or on earth, or in light or in darkness, or in Sheol, or in the depth, or in the place of darkness, which is not judged. And all their judgment are ordained and written and engraved. In regard to all, he will judge, the great according to his greatness, and the small according to his smallness, and each according to his way. And he is not one who will regard the person of any. All right, no respect of persons, nor he is one who will receive gifts. If he says that he will execute judgment on earth, if one gave everything that is on the earth, he will not regard the gifts of or the person of any, nor accept anything at his hand, for he is the righteous judge. And of the children of Yasharel it has been written and ordained, if they turn to him in righteousness, he will forgive all their transgressions and pardon all their sins. It is written and ordained that he will show mercy to all who turn from all their guilt once each year. And as for all those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood, no man's person was accepted save that of Noah alone, for his person was accepted in behalf of his sons, whom Yahweh saved from the waters of the flood on the account. For his heart was righteous in all his ways, according as it was commanded regarding him, and he had not departed from aught that was ordained for him. And the Most High said that he would destroy everything which was upon the earth, both men and cattle and beasts and fowls of the air, and that which moves on the earth. And he commanded Noah to make him an ark, and he might save himself from the waters of the flood, the deluge. And Noah made the ark in all respects as he commanded him, in the 27th Jubilee of years, in the 5th week, in the 5th year, on the new moon of the first month, which is 1307 a.m. Right? And he entered in the 6th year thereof, 1308 a.m., and the 2nd month of the new moon of the 2nd month, until the 16th, and he entered, and all that we brought to him into the ark, and the Most High closed it from without on the 17th evening. And the Most High opened 7 floodgates of heaven, and the mouths of the fountains of the great deep, 7 mouths in number. And the floodgates began to pour down water from the heaven 40 days and 40 nights. And the fountains of the deep also sent up waters until the whole world was full of water. And the waters increased upon the earth 15 cubits did the waters rise above all the high mountains. And the ark was lifted up above the earth, and it moved upon the face of the waters. And the water prevailed on the face of the earth 5 months, 150 days. And the ark went and rested on the top of Lubar, one of the mountains of Ararat. And on the new moon in the 4th month, the fountains of the great deep were closed, and the great floodgates of heaven were restrained. And on the new moon of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abysses of the earth were opened, and the water began to descend into the deep, the great deep below. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and on the new moon of the 1st month of the earth became visible. And the waters disappeared from above the earth in the 5th week of the 7th year, 1309 a.m. thereof. And on the 17th day in the 2nd month the earth was dry. And on the 27th thereof he opened the ark, and sent out from it beasts and cattle and birds and every moving thing. That's the end of chapter 5. Hallelujah. Are you with me? Of course you are, because you love me, and I love you more. Maybe not, but you know what I'm saying? It's debatable. You want to get chapter 6? Of course you do, man, because we can't just leave it right there. We can't do that, fam. Nah, man. Chapter 6. Chapter 6, and it reads, "And on the new moon of the 3rd month he went out from the ark and built an altar on that mountain. And he made atonement for the earth, and took a kid and made atonement by its blood for all the guilt of the earth, for everything that had been on it and had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah. And he placed that fat thereof on the altar. And he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and kids and salt and turtle doves and the young and the dove." Oh wait, remember when? Let's go back to Genesis real quick, because they didn't talk about it right here. When he stuffed that ark full of animals, remember, of all the clean animals he took 7, but of all the unclean he took 2, male and female. Why did he take 7 of all the clean? Because he had to make sacrifices when he got out. See what I'm saying? He made an altar as soon as he got out, and he sacrificed those clean animals. That's why he had to take more clean animals than unclean. 7 clean, 2 unclean. You understand? All right. 7 pairs. That's what I'm saying. 7 pairs. All right. Let's read, man. And I just want to make that clear. All right. All right. Let's go back to 3 and let's clean this up. All right. 3. And he placed the fat thereof on the altar, and he took an ox and a goat and the sheep and the kids and salt and a turtle dove and the young of the dove, and placed a burnt sacrifice on the altar, and poured thereon an offering mingled with oil, and sprinkled wine, and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a goodly savor to arise, acceptable before the Most High. And the Most High smelt the goodly savor, and he made a covenant with him, that there should not be any more flood to destroy the earth, that all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, should never cease. Cold and heat, and summer and winter, and the day and night should not change their order, nor cease forever. And you increase, you, and multiply upon the earth, and become many upon it, and be a blessing upon it. The fear of you and the dread of you I shall inspire in everything that is on the earth and in the sea. See, that's when animals got the fear of people. That's why birds run away from you and all animals flee from you, because he put the fear in them. Before that, you could walk right up to a squirrel and pick it up probably, and it would talk to you. All right, so listen, pay attention. Verse 6, and it reads, "And behold, I have given unto you all beasts and all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, and the fish and the waters, and all things for food, as the green herbs. I have given you all things to eat. But flesh with the life thereof, with the blood, you shall not eat. For the life of all flesh is in the blood, lest your blood of your lives be required. At the hand of every man, at the hand of every beast, shall I require the blood of man. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. And you increase ye and multiply." Multiply on the earth. And Noah and his sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. And he made a covenant before the Most High Elohim forever throughout all the generations of the earth. And this month, on this account, he spoke to you that you should make a covenant with the children of Yasharel in this month upon the mountain with an oath, and that you should sprinkle blood upon them because of all the words of the covenant which the Most High Yahweh made with him forever. And his testimony, this testimony is written concerning you, that you should observe it continually, so that you should not eat on any day any blood of beast or birds or cattle during all the days of the earth. And the man who eats the blood of a beast or cattle of birds during all the days of the earth, he and his seed shall be rooted out of the land. That's why you don't eat raw steaks. You know what I'm saying? You Gentiles who like your rare steaks, you're nasty. Esau, pay attention. 13, and it reads, "And do you command the children of Yasharel to eat no blood, so that their names and their seed may be before the Most High our Elohim continually? And for this law there is no limit of days, and it is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generations, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf with blood before the altar every day. And at the time of morning and evening, they shall seek forgiveness on your behalf perpetually before the Most High, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. And he gave to Noah and his son and his sons a sign, that there should not again be any flood on the earth, no deluge. He set his bow in the cloud for a sign of the eternal covenant, that there should not again be a flood on the earth to destroy it in all the days of the earth. For this reason it is ordained and written on the heavenly tables that they should celebrate and feast of weeks in the month, once a year, to renew the covenant every year. You understand? Verse 18. And this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation until the days of Noah, 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of years. And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years, until the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death his sons did away with it until the day of Abraham, and they ate blood. But Abraham observed it in Isaac and Yaakov, and his children observed it up to your days. And in your days the children of Yasharel forgot it until you celebrated it anew on this mountain. And do you command the children of Yasharel to observe this festival in all their generations for commandment unto them? 1 day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival. For it is a feast, it is the feast of weeks, and the feast of the first fruits. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraved concerning it, celebrated. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for you, that you should celebrate it in its season, 1 day in the year. And I explained to you its sacrifices, that the children of Yasharel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, 1 day in every year. And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month was he bidden to make for himself an ark. And on that day the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And on the new moon of the 4th month of months, of the depths of the abysses beneath were closed. And on the new moon of the 7th month all the mouths of the abysses of the earth were opened, and the waters began to descend into them. And on the new moon of the 10th month the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on the account he ordained them for himself as feasts, for a memorial forever, and thus are they ordained. And they placed them on the heavenly tables. Each had 13 weeks, from one to another past their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. And all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraved and ordained on the heavenly tables. And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year, or from year to year. And command you, the children of Yasharel, that they observe the years according to the reckoning 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year. And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feast. For everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from their order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. Verse 34. And all the children of Yasharel will forget, and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Shabbats, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from now on shall I declare it unto you, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me. And on the heavenly tables the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon. Now it disturbs the seasons, and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason the years will come upon them, when they will disturb the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day of feast day. And they will confound all the days, the Kodesh with the unclean, and the unclean day with the Kodesh. And they will go wrong as to the mouths of Shabbats and feasts and Jubilees. For this reason I commanded and testify to you, that you may testify to them. For after your death your children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. For this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Shabbats and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. That's the end of chapter 6. See what I'm saying? He knew that they were going to add 365 days. He said it won't even be 364 only. That's why we got 365 days. And they've screwed everything up. They've messed everything up. And he called it. He said, and they're not going to even know what's going on. That's why the birds and you have the plants growing in weird seasons. You know, I got flowers blooming in February. You know what I'm saying? And then dying the next week because we get a hoarfrost comes through out of one of those portals that we talked about in Enoch. You know what I'm saying? It's complete, utter madness, man. Complete, utter madness. This world is completely out of order, and that's the reason why there's so much turmoil and so much tumult. Do you understand? That's right, family. That's right, Mishpachah, King of Builder, Road Trippers. Hey, you want to get chapter 7 real quick? It's going to make this one stretch out, but I don't really care. You want to do it? I don't give a damn. Let's do it, man. I'm going to read chapter 7. All right, let's get bigger. All right, family. I just feel motivated, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, all right? Chapter 7, and it reads, And in the 7th week, in the first year thereof, in this Jubilee, Noah planted vines on the mountain on which the ark had rested, named Lubar, one of the Ararat mountains, and they produced fruit in the 4th year, and he guarded their fruit, and gathered it in the year of the 7th month, and he made wine therefrom, and put it into a vessel, and kept it until the 5th year, until the 1st day, on the new moon of the 1st month, and he celebrated with joy the day of his feast. And he made a burnt sacrifice unto the Most High, 1 young ox and 1 ram, and 7 sheep, each a year old, and a kid of the goats, that he might make atonement thereby for himself and his sons. And he prepared the kid first, and placed some of its blood on the flesh that was on the altar, which he had made, and all the fat he had laid on the altar, where he made the burnt sacrifice, and the ox and the ram and the sheep, and he laid all their flesh upon the altar, and he placed all their offering mingled with oil upon it, and afterwards he sprinkled wine on the fire which he had previously made on the altar, and he placed incense on the altar, and caused a sweet savor to ascend acceptable for the Most High his Elohim, and he rejoiced and drank of this wine, and he and his children, with joy. And it was evening, and he went into his tent, and being drunken, he lay down and slept, and was uncovered in his tent as he slept. And Ham saw Noah his father naked, and went out and told his 2 brethren without. And Shem took his garment and arose, he and Japheth, and they placed the garment on their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the shame of their father, and their faces were backward. And Noah awoke from his sleep, and knew all that his younger son had done unto him. And he cursed his son, and said, Cursed be Canaan, and enslaved servant shall he be unto his brethren. And he blessed Shem, and said, Blessed be the Most High Elohim of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Yahweh shall enlarge Japheth, and Yahweh shall dwell in the dwelling of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Ham knew that his father had cursed his younger son, and he was displeased that he had cursed his son. And he parted from his father, he and his sons with him, Cush and Mizraim, and Put and Canaan. And he built for himself a city, and called its name after the name of his wife, Neheletama Uk. And Japheth saw it, and became envious of his brother, and he too built him for himself a city, and he called its name after the name of his wife, Adatanases. And Shem dwelt with his father Noah, and he built a city close to his father on the mountain, and he too called its name after the name of his wife, Sedekatelabab. And behold, these 3 cities are near Mount Lubar, Sedekatelabab fronting the mountain of its east, and Nelek Talamaluk on the south, Adatananes toward the west. And these are the sons of Shem, Elam, and Ashur. And Arpachshad his son was born 2 years after the flood, and Lud and Aram. And the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. These are the sons of Noah. And in the 28th Jubilee, Noah began to enjoin upon his sons' the ordinances and commandments, and all the judgments that he knew. And he exhorted his sons to observe righteousness, and to cover the shame of their flesh, and to bless their Creator. and honor father and mother, and love their neighbor, and guard their souls from fornication and uncleanness and all iniquity. All right. Verse 21. All right. For owing to these three things came the flood upon the earth, namely owing to the fornication wherein the watchers against the law of their ordinances went a whoring after the daughters of men, and took themselves wives of all which they chose, and they made the beginning of uncleanness, and they begat sons of Nephidim, and they were all unlike, and they devoured one another, and the giants slew the Nephil, and the Nephil slew Eljo, and the Eljo mankind, and one man another. And everyone sold himself to work iniquity and to shed much blood, and the earth was filled with iniquity. And after this they sinned against the beast and birds and all that moved and walked on the earth, and much blood was shed on the earth, and every imagination and desire of men imagined vanity and evil continually. And the Most High destroyed everything from off the face of the earth because of the wickedness of their deeds, and because of the blood which they had shed in the midst of the earth. He destroyed everything. And we were left, I and you, my sons, and everything that entered with us into the ark. And behold, I see your works before me, that you do not walk in righteousness. For in the path of destruction you have begun to walk, and you are parting one from another, and are envious one of another. And so it comes that you are not in harmony, my sons, each with his brother. For I see and behold, the demons have begun their seductions against you and against your children, and now I fear on your behalf, and that after my death you will shed the blood of men upon the earth, and that ye too will be destroyed from the face of the earth. For whoso sheds men's blood, and whoso eats the blood of any flesh, will all be destroyed from the earth, and there will not be left any man that eats blood, or that sheds the blood of man on the earth, nor will there be any left to him any seed or descendants living under heaven. For into Sheol will they go, and into the place of condemnation will they descend, and into the darkness of the deep will they all be removed by a violent death. There shall be no blood seen upon you. Of all the blood there shall be all the days in which you have killed any beast or cattle or whatever flies upon the earth, and work you a good work to your souls by covering that which has been shed on the face of the earth. And you shall not be like him who eats with blood, but guard yourself that none may eat blood before you. Cover the blood, for thus have I commanded to testify to you and your children together with all flesh. And suffer not the soul to be eaten with the flesh, that your blood, which is your life, may not be required at the hand of any flesh that sheds it on the earth. For the earth will not be clean from the blood which has been shed upon it, for only through the blood of him that shed it will the earth be purified throughout all its generations. And now, my children, hearken, work judgment and righteousness, that you may be planted in righteousness over the face of the whole earth, and your glory lifted up before my Elohim, who saved me from the waters of the flood. And behold, you will go and build for yourselves cities, and plant in them all the plants that are upon the earth, and moreover all fruit-bearing trees. For 3 years the fruit of everything that is eaten will not be gathered, and in the 4th year its fruit will be accounted Kodesh, and they will offer the first fruits, acceptable before the Most High Elohim, who created heaven and earth and all things. Let them offer in abundance the first of the wine and oil as first fruits on the altar of the Most High, who receives it. And what is left, let the servants of the house of the Most High eat before the altar which receives it. And in the 5th year make you the release, so that you release it in righteousness and uprightness, and you shall be righteous, and all that you plant will prosper. For thus did Enoch, the father of your father, command Methuselah his son, and Methuselah his son Lamech, and Lamech commanded me all the things which his fathers commanded him. And I also will give you commandment, my sons, as Enoch commanded his son in the first Jubilees while still living, the 7th in his generation, he commanded and testified to his son, and to his son's sons, until the day of his death. That's the end of chapter 7, and we're going to package that up right there, nice and tight, family. That's it. Boom, right there, man. And we might have another reading left in us tonight, but right now we're going to go ahead and get this one online. And we actually put 3 in this one, right? 5 through 7. That's right. Hallelujah, man. We had a little extra steam, right, left in the tank. A little extra gas, man. We're going to stop for a little gas up, though. A little gas break, right? Get some food. Maybe get a little bit of rest. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll let the Ruach decide what we got to do next, all right? But I'm just so blessed and so happy to have each and every single one of you riding along with me, Kingdom Builders, Road Trippers. I love y'all, Akeem and Akatim, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, everybody in the house. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to each and every single one of you, your homes, your dwelling places, where you stay at, right? Your children, your friends, your loved ones, and your pets, man. All those little fur nagas, those little good things, man. Those little packages of fur joy, right? That's right, man. They're all family, man. I'm just happy to have everybody, man. So until I see you again, in the meantime, in between time, stay safe, drive safe out there, be safe, think safe, act safe, and do something outside of your comfort zone for somebody else to uplift the kingdom of heaven. Hallelujah. All right, hallelujah, man. All praises to the Most High. All praises to Yahweh, man. I love you. I'll see you soon. Yeah.